Alright, optimize learning. In this video, I'm going to show you some learning methods that have helped me optimize my learning. This is going to be a 10-step method. It's going to be very simple. Virtually anybody can apply this. Alright, step 1, the importance of learning. All you have to do is convince yourself the value and importance of it. If you know how to learn, you know how to apply. And if you know how to apply, you know how to execute. It's very simple. Step 2, removing false beliefs. You have to get rid of all the thought patterns that prevent you from learning what it is you want to learn. You are not limited by what you think your capabilities are. It doesn't exist. I don't even care how many chromosomes you have. I've seen people of different variety learn more than others. And I've seen a lot of people make excuses. There is no limit to what you can achieve. Now that you have importance, and now that you removed your limitations, you're left with one thing: space. And you don't want your space to be boring, right? So you need stimulation. Find out what stimulates you while you're learning and apply it. I'm going to give you a secret, because if you're watching this far already, then I think you deserve it. The secret is epigenetics. Find out what your grandparents did, apply how they learned to how you learn, and watch what happens. Sometimes learning can be in your DNA, and sometimes you can magnify that to your advantage. So find out what stimulates you, do what stimulates you constantly, do it until you find a rhythm with your stimulation and your learning patterns. Yeah, that sounds complicated, but let me simplify that for you. If you're doing what you like to do while you're learning, the learning curve will be a lot more evident. So if you can find something in your mind that tells you, oh, I like this about me when I learn, it motivates you while you're learning so that you continuously do it subconsciously. Suddenly you have a pattern that hooks into your subconscious and allows you to learn continuously. And doing what you like, or doing something that stimulates you while you're learning, helps out a lot. If you've gotten this far and you still don't find a will to learn, and if you don't feel like you want to really learn, you should exit out of this video. Check back later when you're feeling like you want to learn something, because the drive to obtain the information has to be there for this to work. Step 4, learn as a child. There's a very common known fact where the kids from ages 1 through 4 learn the most, the fastest. So you have to address the subject with childlike wonder. You can't learn with skepticism and self-doubt cluttering your mind. You have to be in an open space and a very receiving state to learn anything. Fail on purpose. That's step 5. Trial and error is probably the fastest way to regurgitate information, because you already know what works. You're just reapplying it in different ways to see if it works in other ways. Whatever the subject is, it works. So trial and error, fail on purpose. That was step 5. Allow information to flow optimally. Allow information to flow as much as it can. This includes getting out of your own way. A good way to remember this is that you can learn from every situation and every circumstance, good or bad. And you must acquire information in every way possible, especially if you're trying to master something. Adopt flow state, anything that helps you gain that mental momentum. Purposefully be understanding even if you don't fully understand. Because if you don't understand and you're still understanding, you're going to try to understand. And that is exactly what separates the infinitesimal with the great. I call that hyper-understanding. A lot of the times people throw away things that don't resonate with them. And I can promise you, even if it doesn't resonate, there's something that you can take from it. So if it does not resonate, reevaluate. If it doesn't make any sense to you, reevaluate. Use as many perspectives as you need to use to understand what you're observing. And take your time with it. Just take your time with it. You can tell someone doesn't take their time with learning because they become egotistic. You transfer from the state of transferring information to the state of battling intellect, and it's as if no one understands anything, and nothing gets done. So don't be afraid of people who know more or less than you. Try to find common ground and exchange information. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. It's very simple. And when someone does know a little more than something than you do, that's an opportunity for you to observe and sponge in that information. You do not have to annihilate the populace, and it does not make you inferior. And the last one, when you finally have your pattern, when you finally have your flow state, or you have achieved your flow state, you play games with it. Anything you do, anything you play, anything you actively achieve, you play with what you know. And it is okay to not know anything, because no one can know everything. Trust me. I'm gonna throw in an 11th step just for the heck. This step I think is the most valuable. Trust nothing until you have applied it for yourself. Not with skepticism, but with common sense. You begin to see the world is not as it seems, and there are a lot more secrets to it, a lot more magic. And there's always something that's a lot more rewarding at the end of the tunnel. Trust me.